Well, greetings, friends, and welcome to BBP. Are you telling God all about your problems? I hope so. Are you giving Him time to reply? We're going to talk about that today. Keep watching. The best thing about being a Christ follower is knowing that I'm going to heaven when my days on earth are done. The second best thing is knowing that while I'm down here, I have God's attention and I can go to Him with anything I need. That's His nature, to listen to His children when they have needs and wants and complaints. And it seems like all of us have all of these all the time. Now, the Bible tells us in many times and in many ways to take all of our requests to God in prayer. My favorite is Psalm 62, verse 8. Trust in Him at all times, you people. Pour out your hearts before Him. God is a refuge for us. But let's get serious about this. When we pour our hearts out before God, it's not like He needs to hear what we're saying. He already knows our needs. Pouring out our hearts before Him is for our benefit, not His. He wants us to be honest with Him and persistent in prayer so that He can refine the requests of our hearts and line them up with His will. So talking to God is a necessary part of our relationship with Him. But the flip side of that is it's just as important for us to listen. I think it would blow our minds if we knew how many professed believers in Jesus have just walked away from their faith out of frustration or disappointment because they didn't understand this one biblical principle. Sometimes God wants us to shut up and listen. In Ecclesiastes chapter 5, we read that God is in heaven and you are on earth, so let your words be few. Habakkuk chapter 2 tells us that God is in His holy temple, that the whole earth remains silent before Him. In Habakkuk chapter 2, it tells us that God is in His holy temple. Let the whole earth remain silent before Him. In Lamentations chapter 3, it says, let him sit alone in silence because God laid it on his heart. I really believe that a lack of silence is the number 2 reason why prayers don't get answered. The number 1 reason is chronic disobedience. But it's no wonder that we have trouble sitting still and being quiet. Our culture places no value on silence. It's not viewed as a productive use of time. We're just acclimated to the constant bombardment of social media all the time. And when we shut it off, man, we're just lost. We don't know how to act. But we weren't created this way. God wants us, yes, even requires us to get quiet before Him. He has a lot to say to us if we would just take the time to listen. It may be a little hard at first, maybe a little awkward, but give it a try. I've been encouraging you to spend a few minutes every day in prayer. I never said you have to do all the talking. Just bow your head and be silent. He will speak to you, I promise. He's just waiting to reveal things to you if you would only shut up and listen. Well, thank you for joining me here today. We'll see you right back here next week. Until then, keep your eyes on Jesus and not on your troubles. Thank you.